Hey, I'm Mike Nelson with Spyder Extras, and let me tell you today, we are excited to talk about a new product that we created to solve a serious problem with the rear trunks on a Can-Am Spyder RT model 2020 Plus or an F3. How many times have you had the lid fall on your head? How many times have you struggled to keep the lid up? Well, we're going to solve that today, and we're going to show you exactly the kit that will solve that problem. This is Keith and Justin. Let's get started. I want to show you the problem that these trunks have on these 2020 Plus RT models and the F3 limited models. We compound the problem by putting our aluminum rack on there with an extra carrier. When you lift this lid, you can see with the additional weight, this is just not going to work. It's going to close. It would still close whether we had the rack on it and the additional bag. We've solved that problem with this trunk lift kit that we're about to install, and we'll show you how much weight you can put in here to be able to hold that lid up. And this little spike will no longer hit you in the back of the head, or you'll never have to put your antenna up to hold this up. Or like we've seen at some of our rallies, they actually have a stick they carry to hold this trunk lid up. With our new trunk lift kit, you will never have another problem with this trunk lift kit wanting to stay up, even if you add our aluminum rack and a backpack. And at the end of this, we're going to show you how much weight you can put in here and still have the trunk lid hold itself up.
To get this install going, first thing we're going to do is open the trunk up. We're going to take the seat off. And to take the seat off, you're going to need a T20, and you'll take this screw off and this screw off. Be simple. Just going to leave those screws down in the bottom of the trunk. We're going to take the back seat off, Justin. You can lower that. You just kind of grab it from the bottom and just kind of do a little wiggle. I got two clips right here that just clip right down in the spot when you go to put it back on or take it off. We went ahead and installed these right here on there, but when you get them, you'll put these on. Thank you, Justin.
You're welcome.
We'll have 2 1/2-inch wrenches, which you'll put these on. Just make sure the ball's running with your bracket. And then you'll have the second bracket right here that you'll put the ball on. Again, put the ball side with your screw hose. Then the next step would be coming around to the back side and taking these screws off. And to do that, you'll need a 4mm T-wrench.
Okay, to take these bolts out right here, you'll need a 4mm Allen wrench right here. And some of these will be hard to do. They do have Loctite in them, so ours has already been taken off and put back in a lot of times. So you just put that in there and you just break these loose and you will just take them out. If you got an electric gun or whatever, once you get them broke, you can pull them out a little faster. Preferably just use this. And you will set these to a side. We send more bolts with this to put fresh bolts right back in there.
Once you get the 2 bolts pulled out of the back, you'll see whether it was tight or not and you had debris or the Loctite in there. If a lot of resistance with the bolt coming out, you may want to use a 6mm by 1 tapping tool and just run that in there, and it cleans it out for easier install.
Okay, once we remove the seat off of there and got the bolts out of there, we will install our bracket onto the bottom of the trunk. We'll put it right in here like this right here.
After he's got the upper bracket on the lid, he can drop the lid down, and we're going to insert the 2 bolts, which is 6mm. You're going to take a 4mm T-wrench to put in there.
Keith, if you just need me to move this anywhere you need, you just let me know.
It's fine right there where it's at.
All right.
You just tighten these in. Don't necessarily got to have any Loctite for it because it's a good long bolt and it's going to stay connected, stay secure, I mean. There'll be 2 bolts. Once this bolt's in here, then the upper bracket's in place and we can show you what that looks like. Okay, good and tight. And that's got those 2 bolts. We're going to move to the inside of the trunk and go ahead and put the lower bracket on now. Now that we've installed the upper bracket back here and got the bolts tightened, we're going to install the lower bracket. And this is what the lower bracket looks like. It's like that, and you've done installed that. I'm just going to set it right down here. Then we're going to grab the template, and right here at the middle of your hinges on your lid, you got a piece of plastic, and it will reach from one end to the other end, then pull it back towards your lip. Then you'll be able to drill with a 1364 drill bit. You got 2 holes to drill. I always like putting a piece of cloth or something down in here. That way you don't get debris everywhere. Thank you, Justin. Then just make sure your template's lined up, pulled back, and hold it good and snug. Then you can go ahead and drill it. Which is always kind of nerve-wracking when you're drilling in your back. But once you get that drilled out, you'll take your lower bracket, and then we send you some screws or bolts and nuts to attach them with. It's going to be a 3mm T-wrench is what it's going to be, and a 10mm wrench at the bottom. You'll take your bracket and set it right under the bottom side with your nut and bolt going through the top, your bolt. And you got your 2 bolts, just set your second bolt in there. Kind of close together there, so you just be patient. So you'll have a 10mm socket on the bottom. The socket with an extension is the easiest way to go. If you get a wrench in there, there's just not a lot of room in there to work with the wrench. So you just take the, like I said, the 3mm up top, the 10mm socket on the bottom. And just snug him up, good and snug.
Once you get your lower bracket on there, now you can install your shock, your gas shock. You just want to go down here and pop it onto that right there and pop your clip on there. It'll pop right into place. You'll hear it clip. Pull your trunk down to your shock. Put it on there and push down on the clip. It snaps right into place. Now your shock lift kit is installed.
Now that Justin's installed the gas spring, I'm gonna go ahead and let go of the lid and show you that the lid will stay up on its own. We'll close the lid, and then we're gonna open it back up to show you how easy that right there is.
So simple, Keith.
The final step would be taking these 2 push pins out, and these latch pins is gonna have to be adjusted backwards, and Justin's gonna show us how to do that.
Okay, it's very simple. You just take your OEM puller right here and just pull this up here. These pop right out. They're very simple to get out. Okay, once them are out right there, just place them to the side somewhere. Once you get your light off of there, you'll take your 8mm wrench. You just put it on the nut there and loosen them up so you can adjust these pins backwards. Get them all the way pulled backwards, and you can just shut your trunk down and they will kind of go into place. You can come back up in here and tighten your taps back up. Just snug them up just slightly. Once you get them on there, you can come back up in here and press your button and see how your trunk opens up. It should come up nice and easy. This is a good installation. Pull it back down, put it on there. It locks just fine. Now you can start assembling everything back together and your project will be done. Assemble your light back on there. Grab your pins, your push pins, install them back on there. It's very simple and very quick. It's back on there. You can shut your trunk. Nice and easy, goes down. It is locked. Push the button, goes right back up.
Last thing we're gonna be doing is putting the seat back on. They've got 2 clips. They will just go in one location.
You might have to push on it a little bit.
So once you put them in there, then you'll just push down and the clips will clip right in, and we're gonna put the 2 T20 screws back in. Justin, if you wanna do that. There's the T.
Right here. We're gonna go ahead and install right here with the T20. Very simple. Give them a little snug right there at the end. Put the next one in. Once that is installed, You are all back together.
We've already showed you all on the truck lift that it holds itself up with an empty carrier and our rack on the back of it. Now we're going to show you with 10 pounds of water. These bottles are a pound apiece. We've got 10 bottles in this carrier. We're going to zip this up. There's going to be a little resistance, but not much. Then about right there, you can see that it'll carry itself on up with 10 extra pounds on the rack, with the carrier, with the rack on the trunk.
To order your trunk lift kit, go to SpyderExtras.com.
Thank you so much for watching today. We ask that you please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And don't forget to check out SpyderExtras.com for all your Spyder and Ryker accessories. Thank you so much for watching.